in our current political climate, there's a lot of talk about women of color, as they say. And when they say that, they just mean every woman that isn't white. Um, but I'm actually gonna give a hot take. I'm not a progressive guy. I'm not. I'm actually a very bigoted, closed-minded guy, and I'll probably be that way forever. I don't like change. I really don't. And I think white men are the best wrestlers. I think Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Jerry Lawler, Sergeant Slaughter. Well, I guess Iron Sheik's not a white guy, but Iron Sheik's up there. Andre the Giant. Those are like my favorite wrestlers. Most of my favorite wrestlers are white guys. But I gotta say, since every single white male wrestler nowadays is complete trash, like, come on. I don't think there's a single good white male wrestler that's other than The Miz right now. And to be fair, I don't think there's a single good wrestler of any demographic right now, except for black women. Because say what you want. I'm not saying Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are like GOAT level stars. I'm not saying that. But they're passable. Like, I look at them and I'm like, yeah, these are wrestling characters. Bianca Belair. I mean, she doesn't look like an Amazon, but she does. She has the hair thing. That's like a memorable thing. She has the hair thing. The kids buy her merchandise. She's good for commercials. She's an entertaining character. She does her job. You can see why Vince McMahon favored her because she actually does her job. She's a memorable wrestler that has a hook. And Jade Cargill, Jade Cargill is she's not as good as Chyna, of course. Chyna will always be the best female wrestler, but she's better than Rhea Ripley because she's actually good to look at. And she has an even more impressive physique. I mean, Jade Cargill you can't find anywhere. Jade Cargill is not a person you can find at Walmart or at a gym even. You just like Jade Cargill is like a circus. This is not a derogatory term, but like a circus act where it's like this person just looks so crazy, and they don't have people that look like this anymore, where they're all roided up and look so crazy that you can't just find them anywhere. Like, she looks like someone, if there was a real women's division of wrestling, because we know wrestling's fake, but if it was real, and there was a real women's division of wrestling, she looks like someone who would dominate in it. So Jade Cargill has a great look. Bianca Belair has a great hook. I don't really necessarily watch their matches. I really could care less because I don't really watch women's wrestling. But out of every single... Like, I look at all these girls, right? I look at, Bayley. I mean, Tiffany Stratton is hot, not gonna lie. But, there's some hot chicks, but it's just like... They don't have the it factor. They're not like circus characters. You know what I mean? Wrestling used to have like these crazy characters you couldn't find anywhere else. You can't go to the mall and find The Rock. You can't go to the mall and find Hulk Hogan. You can't go to the mall or even find Ric Flair. These crazy eccentric characters that you could only find in the world of wrestling, and that could only be done in the world of wrestling. I feel like these two characters actually fit the mold. They're not as good, not even close, but they are passable. They are actual, I would consider these actual wrestling characters. I can't sit here and say that, like, I can't sit here and say that, like, Gunther is an interesting wrestling character. He's not. He just sucks. He's gay. He just, like, objectively sucks. Which is a shame, because Germans usually make really good wrestlers. But it's just, like, this guy's just, like, a nerd who's pretending to be tough, and it just doesn't work. Like, compare him to Goldberg. Like, Goldberg is literally, like, 60 years old or something in the crowd, and he looks like he could just rip Gunther in half, because he could. And, it's just ridiculous. Like Brock Lesnar. Like, Brock Lesnar is like a circus act. You can't find Brock Lesnar everywhere. You can't find Brock Lesnar at the mall. That's the point. That's the point of wrestling. You need an attraction. Now, if you have a good enough character, you can transcend, your appearance. You don't have to look like, a super roided guy if your character is good enough to get over, like Roddy Piper. But in general, we do want to see these, like, freaks of nature when we go to wrestling shows. Like, that's part of the act. That's part of the... And it's not like these people are getting paid chump change to do this. Like, it's not like... It'd be one thing if they were in, like, a bingo hall wrestling, right? And they were just doing it out of passion. Then you can't really shit on them. But if you're getting paid millions of dollars to watch WWE... I mean, getting paid millions of dollars, like, money we could only dream of, then, yeah, we're going to be a little more critical than, like, than backyard wrestling. This is not... Like, you got to look the part. If you really want to make it to the big leagues, you got to get on the steroids and go crazy. So anyway, what I'm saying is the appearances in wrestling matter. And these two ladies, I don't know I don't know them personally. I don't know if they're good or bad people. I don't know if they're good or bad in-ring wrestlers. All I can say is superficially they make sense. And I can't say that about most other wrestlers on the roster. So, I appreciate you guys listening. You have a good evening.